So, welcome. Are you ready for the end? Because this is it. We are the closing session of the 2024 One Voice. We made it through. Okay, so give me the last day and a half plus 2, that's 3, right? So, up, down, sideways, up. So, you have your list of things you're taking back to your rescue, your shelter, or if you're not in a rescue or shelter, that you're just going like, I'm going to do this. You're ready to do that? Okay. We want to thank our sponsors, our partners, for all of their support. I told you our last conference was 2018, so it's been a while. And during the planning process, you know, you go through a whole lot of things. You go through hotel reservations. You put out an RFP to find out who can do what for you and whatever. And when they came back with the prices, it was more than shocking because we have diligently tried, because we understand the animal community. And we are not the deep pocket people. We are the crazy-ass people that pull out of our own pockets, right, for that one more spay-neuter, or for that last surgery that needs to be done, or to accept a job that you know you're way overqualified for, but you love the animals and you want to be there. So I totally get, right? We need to be so cost-effective. And it was next to impossible to be cost-effective with the way the rates had gone up. And so even though you brave folks pulled it all out of your pockets to be here, it was our sponsors that even made it the price that it is. Because our sponsors contribute money so that you don't have to pay. And that's why I think it's so important to recognize our sponsors, because it's not like they just say, okay, we're supportive of you. They actually help our bottom line in you being here. So just think about that and support them, please, because they've been great for each of us. I want to thank Kent County Animal Shelter and the Humane Society of West Michigan. They were our local hosts and helped us to be here and did a number of things, also contributing with the tours of the shelters. Thanks again to all our exhibitors that were here and for the great raffle prizes that they gave us. A special thanks to the Planning Committee. They did a great job. I think we just heard some comments that said, God, this is as good as a national conference. And it's because of the Planning Committee. They do a hell of a lot of work. And, you know, we were fortunate beyond belief that Michelle Springer, who's on our board, who is also an event planner, could bring this all together, because without her, this would never have happened. So Michelle, please let everybody know who you are. Stand up. And Michelle brought to us at a very, 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 very discounted price our AV team, because we would be in the hole right now if it weren't for these wonderful guys that are contributing to our conference. It is Tim, Larry, Jay, Rob, Scott, and Scott. Thank you, guys. And I want to thank all you guys for being here, for being enthusiastic, for doing the work that you do. It's fantastic. Thank you. And for all your engagement. The questions, answers at sessions were great. And now let's announce some grant winners. I hope you are here. Just a drop about our awards, grants, programs, because if you did not apply this year, make sure you do next year, because tell me who in the room, raise your hand, you do not want $2,000. None of you? Go figure. So what we do is, you know, we do awards, and the awards are about programs that you guys do that are just outstanding. This is a competitive grant or award. What happens, you do a real quick application. We remove from the application any identity. We have a 5-member committee. That 5-member committee then looks over all the applications and each individually scores them. We then put all the scores together. Nobody knows who's won until the very end. Matter of fact, sometimes the committee, they just, okay, yep, they got the highest score, and it's not until way later that we find out who the winners are. So we have two. We have the folks that submit programs that get awarded, and then we have grants. And our grants are for training and education. So I want to tell you about the 2 grant winners, and what they do is they just tell us why they want the grant that we have. And one is for dog training on site, and the other is for Scentwork. And so, drum roll. Oh, we don't have it like yet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you would please stand, I hope you're here. The recipient of on-site dog training is Friends of Animals of Metro Detroit. Are you here? Yeah, they are here. Corey's here. Thank you, Corey. And for the Scentwork training, the grant goes to I Heart Dogs Rescue and Animal Haven. Is Trish here? We have one last award to give out. And first of all, one of the things that, as the prior organization, we always wanted to do, but in all honesty, we were spread so thin, we didn't do a very good job of it. And that was working with the legislature. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort just to educate, to inform, to gain trust so that your issue is in front of them. And we just didn't have the depth to be able to do that. But with our new organization, the Michigan Pet Alliance, one of the things that we were able to do is to retain the services of a group that could help us do that. And I don't know, sometimes I think there's divine intervention in what's done, because who else would have their lobbyist come to a conference with his dog? So Adam, introduce Arthur. Stand up and show everybody Arthur. So how cool is that, we have someone who understands how important this is to us. And our next award winner is the same type of person, because she is in our legislature, and she has been an advocate for cats, dogs, other animals. It's near and dear to her heart. And so when we have, and I should say, very instrumental in Teddy's Law, and when we have approached her and said, we're looking to work with the legislature, we want to work with, you all know, right? We're still operating under the dog law of 1919, right? Geez, nothing's changed, has it? As you pull out your phone. We need updated laws to protect those that don't have the voice. And we have a friend at the legislature that's going to help us do that. So I want to let you know that right now, we want to give to Senator Dayna Polehanki the Legislative Animal Friend of the Year Award. Senator?
Well, what an honor. Geez, it turns out I will drive myself 4 hours to receive an animal award, but only an animal award. My goodness, what an honor, and to be here among you people who have an empathy for animals that sometimes just hurts. I think my mom sparked an empathy for animals in me that just not everyone has. It's a chip, it's a gene, it's how you're brought up, but not everyone has what we have. And I know you have this chip deeply, and many of you, if not all of you in this room, have devoted your lives to helping animals. Now, before I was a state senator, I'm based in Livonia. I was a teacher for a very long time, but really, I'm an animal advocate. I've been on the picket lines for different things. I'm 25 plus year vegetarian. I give to all the people who send me the mail stickers and the calendars and, So to find myself in the legislature, I chair the education committee, but I'm also on some very distinct committees that I placed myself on for the purpose of helping animals. One of them is natural resources and agriculture, and one of them is regulatory affairs. So I place myself on these committees so that I can have a voice when these animal bills come up, if at all. Now, before there was a complete shift, I don't want to get too political, but on one side of the aisle, okay, literally, is a lot of older men. Sorry, men, you do a great job for us, but women get shit done, in the words of our governor, and there's mostly women in here, but thank you, men. So there's a lot of white hairs, a lot of old men, a lot of hunters. We actually still have hunting break. Not that there's anything, whatever, with the hunting, but they don't have the chip that we have. And it's almost considered a weak. You're weak or womanly. You're soft. It's a soft. It's not energy and, guns and, even something like education. It's like oh, that's cute. It's a woman's issue. Well, I just said, wait till you get a load of me, because I will go toe to toe with every brosif who gets up there and acts like they know what the hell they're doing when it comes to animals. And I have. And so I'm going to just talk briefly about Teddy's Law and how hard it was to pass what most people would be totally for. And that is, you see these medical research laboratories, and they breed these beagles. Why beagles? Because they're docile, forgiving, easy to control. And they test on these beagles. And, hundreds of them a year, hundreds and hundreds, in just one lab. There's 2 big labs in Michigan. And we have to set aside for a second what we think about animal testing, because we have to take baby steps to get to the ultimate goal, which is to not test on animals at all. So I found out that these beagles, some of them may have very non-invasive tests, and they're just automatically killed after their time in the lab is served. They can be perfectly healthy. They've never had real human interaction. They've never played with another dog. They've never touched grass. And they're bred, put into a lab, experimented on, and then euthanized, no matter what age, what shape they're in. I thought, this is the most screwed up thing I've ever heard. And so my colleague, Senator Kevin Hertel, yes, a man, sponsored this, and I was in a partnership. There are 2 bills in Teddy's Law. And we had to fight like hell to get this passed. You wanna know why? Because for all the Adams out there, you have the labs who hire high-powered lobbyists. And you know what they do? They take wherever this lab is, Charles Rivers, whatever, this lab. Okay, so they'll find the representative and senator who lives in that area, and they will say, do you know that this lab employs 200 people in your district, and this will absolutely destroy these jobs? And they'll take them on heavily curated happy tours of the labs. And because the balance of power in the legislature is 2 votes in the House, 2 votes in the Senate, they know if they pick off 1 or 2 legislators that they can block Teddy's Law. And that's what they tried to do. And I got in screaming matches with people. I have, on my dead to me list for these lobbyists is a couple of them that I'll never speak to again. And they need me for other stuff. So this is like bad for them, makes no difference to me. So what they did is they, at the end, they took Teddy's Law, and it did pass, barely, but they took the reporting requirements out. So they took some of the teeth out of it. Well, I'm gonna try again with these reporting requirements in lame duck. So, cross your fingers. But, when Teddy's Law passed, I was a crying, sobbing, ugly cry mess. Because I was watching the votes, and it was real late at night, and when it passed, I almost just dropped to the ground. So this is the most significant animal law in recent, I don't know, past decades, long time. Tanya knows, she's been around. Tanya knows everything. Yeah. So there's also a bill called Queenie's Law, which is something that I've signed on as a co-sponsor to. Kudos again to another male legislator, Paul Wino of Warren. And Queenie's Law would end inhumane experiments on animals. I've picketed outside of Wayne State, where they have their cruel and fruitless 30-year dog experiment. But everyone in here kind of reminds me, whatever age you are, of my mom. Before my mom died, I said, I'm gonna pass Teddy's Law, Mom. And we did, and I dedicated that to her. So, in anything I do for animals, it's because she instilled in me that these little creatures are worth it. I like animals more than humans most of the time. I have a rescue horse, and I've had a series of rescue dogs, and my little dog Frankie has a nanny, practically. I mean, she's with her nanny right now. Let's just go ahead and say that. Frankie Ann has her nanny. So thank you, because you're the unsung people that are getting it all done. And the animals can't thank you, but they know you. They know. So I'm so pleased to be here among such strong, kick-ass people with huge hearts, fierce people How many of you are fierce when it comes to animals? Okay, you will get fierce. You will pull those earrings off and do what you gotta do. So thank you for this award. It means so much to me. I'm just so privileged to have it. And really do pay attention to who you vote for, and call the office and say, what is their position on, how did they vote on Teddy's Law? You know, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't know if we had any votes on the side of the aisle with the old white-haired guys. The other side of the aisle was unanimous. So it really does make a difference who you vote for, and then tell your friends, well, do you know they're a no on Queenie's Law? Or animals are still property in Michigan. We've got to change that. They're considered property. So really pay attention to who you vote for. If you're a one-issue voter and that's your issue, heck yeah, okay? It does make a difference. So thank you, I appreciate you, and I'm so happy. I'm happy to see you. Thank you.
Before we move on, I did want to let you know that I will be announcing, after some closing comments from Tanya, some of the award winners. So stay tuned, we still have that coming. And I don't want to forget, is Sarah in here? Sarah? This is Sarah. This is Sarah. Sarah, yes, please, please. Sarah has done a bang-up job. She has worked with the committee. She has assisted in securing this location and making everything run smooth. She is a member of MPA. Not only that, she is our techno whiz at MPA, all volunteer, has been very generous financially. So thank you very much, Sarah. So, we already told you that I've been here forever and I need a break, I do. Oh, you know who's booing me? Tanya Hilgendorf is booing me. But, it's kind of an exciting time for MPA, because when we transitioned from MPFA, who was just 9-member board of directors, to now this membership organization, which I believe all of you are members of, and can bring things to the table and can make us strong and have one voice, right? That important thing. That was kind of all because of Tanya, because I'll tell you, at the end of 2018, when we reached as a state no kill, 90% live release rate in shelters, I was tired then, and I was ready to close shop. And damn her, I hate it when people appeal to your conscience. And she did, woman. Anyway, I do like her anyway, even so. But Tanya has been elected as the new chair, and she will take office at the first of the year. So under her leadership, we're hopefully going to get bigger and better, and look out, legislature, because we're there to talk about the animals, right? So Tanya, come on up and tell us what you're going to bring us in the future.
Thank you, Debbie. And thank you, Senator Polehanki. That was probably the best legislative speech I've ever heard, ever. I mean, we need to vote. We need to vote, right? Livonia area? You're in Livonia area, right? So spread the word. We have an incredible animal advocate in Livonia, and you are a gem, and that's really unique and so important. And then we'll keep working until we can get the animals to vote too, right? Because that's really what we need. Once the animals vote, it's over with. All right, awesome. Let me put my glasses on. So thank you all for being here, everybody, for all of your assistance. We are deeply grateful. As we do draw this conference to a close, I want to take a minute to really reflect on some things, information, insights that we've gathered together including some of those things Debbie asked you to write down. Hopefully you did write some things down you want to change. We've explored some best practices, haven't we? We heard about how to take better care of ourselves and our customers, and of course our animals, from those reactive doggos to those spicy kitties. We've also, here's a good reminder. I'm going to put this really bluntly. It's kind of a bummer, but I'm going to say this. This is a critical reminder for all of us, specifically in shelters. We use confinement on humans to punish rapists and murderers, right? And it's not the best option for homeless and abused animals, so we have to do everything that we can to minimize the suffering while they're in our care. That is our obligation, because they are completely innocent. So that's our biggest charge when it comes to best practices. And make sure to look up those shelter vet guidelines about how your shelter is doing and how you can do better. So important. We also talked about educating the community and supporting the community and creating better laws, right? We can help one animal at a time in our shelter, or we can protect them all better with better, stronger laws, and we need a lot of them. We need a lot, right? We are not doing enough. Yeah. But I also want to give us some reminders about information that we've learned and how to make lasting change when we go back. So change takes courage, number one, right? Courage to take risks, to go against the grain, to stand up for the underdog or the undercat, and say what no one else is saying. That takes a lot of bravery. When it comes to learning, remember, the brain scientists tell us, use it or lose it, right? So if you walk out of here and these fresh ideas go nowhere and you do nothing, what does your brain do? Not needed. Snip, snip away, and it's gone, right? Like a pair of you-know-what on some dogs and cats, right? So we gotta use it. Number 3, remember, that's a real picture. Practice makes what? Perfect. Practice makes perfect. Just like with dog training, right? We're our dog training people. Yeah, we got Vicky, right? We have to do it over and over and over again till it becomes second nature. It takes time. We got to keep doing it, right? That's really, really important. And lastly, I'm gonna harp here for a minute. Is there can be no change without positive attitude and belief. You got to have optimism, right? Ted Lasso fans, right? You have to believe it to see it. You have to believe it to see it, and belief starts from within. The challenge, of course, we have to recognize the challenges. Animal welfare is stressful, draining, so often heartbreaking. There are never enough resources for what we actually are asked to do, and those endless demands and frustrating limitations keep us in a state of stress constantly. Fight or flight, remember we talked about that yesterday for our animals? Well, that's also true for us. We get stuck in that state, and sometimes we ourselves feel like victims. And victims aren't very effective, right? So just as with our dogs and cats, we need to work hard to keep our own fear, anxiety, and stress in check, right? Or we will also be prone to sickness, more likely to bite, and unable to learn new tricks. Something really, really important to remember. That doesn't mean you can't get pissed off or sad. I am mad and sad many times a day, right? I am Sicilian. We have a lot of feelings. We have a lot of big feelings. So you're going to get mad and sad, and that's okay. We just can't sit there. We don't have time to wallow in it. To be creative and to help animals heal, we can't let our bad feelings pile up, right? So our mission requires us to be resilient, right? To pick ourselves back up again, just as we expect our dogs and cats to do in the shelter. They are traumatized and scared, and we need them to shake it off, right? We're going to help them shake it off, and we need to do exactly the same thing. They're traumatized and scared. We're traumatized and scared, and all together, we have to be the change. I know that sounds trite, and it's easier said than done, but practically, your mindfulness and meditation, right? Your gratitude, your self-compassion, your support network, those are all critical things to remember. But also remember, misery loves company, right? So avoid those people who are just bringing you down. The gossipers, the complainers, and the bullies need not apply, right? There might be some nice real estate for you in Florida for those bullies and meanies, right? We don't need those folks. Fighting doesn't mean hurting other people, fighting for what's right. So remember that you are superheroes, as Senator Polehanki said. You are doing work that mere mortals cannot do. Remember that. You are doing work other people cannot do. So if you lead with love and kindness and flexibility, belief in the animals and belief in yourselves, possibilities are limitless, right? If you believe in the universe will believe in you, right? We believe that, don't we? Right? Yes, yes, yes. And every positive action, every little thing you do better adds to the whole movement. So is important and makes us all better together, right? So important. So let's commit today to walking out this door with belief in ourselves and our animals and ready to put some new ideas into action. And MPA is going to commit to the same, to some continuous growth and figuring out how we can support you, help in your education and training, how we can advocate for animals better, for more life-saving care, for more compassionate care when they are with us, and for stronger communities, right? That's really important too. We need to strengthen our communities. And together, we do amplify our voice. We need our one voice together to make it stronger. And that positive energy all together can create a ripple effect, can it? We can spread it all through every corner of Michigan, that voice and that positive energy, to make a brighter future for our family, right? This is our family that we're talking about here. So thank you for the love you give. Thank you for dedicating yourselves to this incredibly hard work, right? And remember to believe in yourselves. So very, very important. Now, I think we have another agenda item or two, but I am wishing you all safe travels and appreciate all of your time and attention here. Thanks, guys.
I'm going to send you on your way. You got home. Oh.
Wait. There's one more word they're telling me. So Michigan Pet Alliance would like to present the Deborah Schutt Lifetime Achievement Award.
No, I have an ugly cry. I hope you got something outside of the ugly cry. I told them not to do that, too. Please go back, fill out your forms, let us know how we've done, and I look forward to seeing you at the workshops next year Travel home safely. Thank you for being here.